Well, good afternoon again. Where's the week gone, eh? I got the same tie on as yesterday. I'm sorry about that. Want to, but I hope everybody's all right. Of course, say the weekend, I'll have the weekend off and see if I can find a few more stories for next week. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Of course, tomorrow, July the 4th, where I suppose we're going to have a few visitors. I think if we stay safe, either way to wear the mask outside, when we're going shopping and all. Keep your distance. It'll be all right. We got to get out. We got to get on with life, really. We just hope that, I said, if anybody got anything you want me to say or do, please contact me and I'll do it for you, on this little thing. So now this year one I got a couple of small ones really, and then I'm going to do another poem by David Prowse. Now this year one's called Jimmy the Jug. Susan Sherman was a hard-spoken woman. Our old man, known as Jimmy the Jug, was very ill in bed. One evening, he called to Susan in a very weak voice to come up to him. "What do you want?" she asked. "I fancy I can smell ham boiling," replied poor old Jimmy the Jug. "So you can, s'pose. I got one over boiling now. Is that all you want?" And downstairs she goes again. In a short time he knocked on the planchon for Susan to come up again. "What do you want now?" "I fancy I could eat a bit of that ham." "Well, you won't have none, 'cause that's for the mourners." You got to think about that one. There's other ones just called about a horse. A young man called Decky had been away from home and living on island for several years. He decided to return home and wrote to his father asking to meet him on the railway station and to be sure and bring the horse as he had heavy luggage. When he arrived, no one was there to receive him, but he saw a man he knew who was one of his old neighbours and asked him if he'd seen his father with the horse. "I come to tell you the horse is dead." "Dead?" "Yes, he died, frightened in the fire." "What fire?" said Dicky. "Well, your own was burnt to the ground," replied the neighbour. "This is sad news, but where is father?" "He's dead too. Caught a cold at the funeral." "What funeral?" "Oh, your mother's." Well, home gone, father gone, mother gone, bad as bad can be." "No, you haven't heard the worst part yet, boy." "Well, what can that be?" "Your rents have gone up." Now this here one is a little one called by David Prowse. Friday night was bath night. Every Friday night was bath night, a traditional affair. I recall with some displeasure from the past. For though the pecking order varied as to who should be the first, it always fell on me to be the last. Despite the many protests of injustice I declared, there was no attempt to juggle our routine. They said that as the youngest and the smallest of the brood, it followed there was less of me to clean. By the time it came to my turn, as I mumbled my disgust, to the giggles from the others of the group. They had emptied out the boiler, all the kettles would be dry, and the water looked like cock-a-leekie soup. It was even worse on nights when we had visitors around to evict us from our spot beside the fire. For the ice-cold black back kitchen a more suitable retreat for polar bears and penguins to retire. Now a tin bath can be useful if you haven't got a choice, although somewhat unsightly to behold. But you could pour in boiling water that you wouldn't dare to touch, still the bottom always managed to be cold. So it was quite an operation as you firmly held the sides and slowly crouched like mother's broody hen. Then as you hit the bottom, you would shoot back up the top, and you found you had to do it all again. Then came the piquant luxury of green carbolic soap, which boasted lethal properties within. Not satisfied with cleansing, it will then apply its power to surgically remove of the skin. Eventually emerging from the murk of your lagoon, you shiver on the slimy, stony floor, as you grope to find a dry spot on the corner of a towel that the others hadn't paddled on before. If cleanliness and godliness are said to be akin, what a wretched urchin I was doomed to be. A lad with indoor plumbing could have sinned away his life and still have more brownie points than me. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.